this is Pat Barrett with Women's Radio, and we have such an amazing guest. She's literally a genius, and I like to think of her as a very, very good friend as well. And she's totally fascinating. You're going to love her. Her name is Jennet Inglis, and she is a scientist. She is a artist. She is a writer. You're really going to enjoy this. She has come out with a new book entitled Flying with Four Legs, Memoirs of a Canine Avatar. And we're going to find out how in the world a dog, as it were, could possibly be an avatar. So it's my great, great pleasure to welcome Jennet Inglis to Women's Radio. Hi.
Hi, Pat. I'm so delighted to be here with you.
Oh, I'm so
Thank you
delighted
for
to
having
get
me
to
on.
see you again. I'll have to tell everyone that I met you through your partner, Mari, who is a book coach or an author coach and a publisher. And then I was traveling and got to come visit with you guys. And it was one of the most fascinating parts of my trip through the East Coast. And but I don't think I understood at that time that you were working on this book, but I'm so fascinated by it. I love the title. So how in the world did you come to know that this dog was an avatar?
People told me so.
Really?
I'm just kidding. They did, of course, all the time, really, because she was an avatar, Pat. People would complete strangers would walk up to me and say, "My goodness sake, what is this creature? She must be an avatar. She just told me what to do." That kind of thing.
Woo.
But just me personally, how did I know she was an avatar? I didn't really. I was mostly focused in the beginning on training the trauma out of Xena. She'd been born in a puppy mill,
Yes.
terrible treatment,
Yeah.
starved. I think she's in the
Aw.
dark because she was terrified of nighttime. And she couldn't eat or drink out of a proper bowl. And I picked her up at the Albuquerque Humane Society when she was 5 months old.
Oh, bless
So
her
there was
heart.
a lot of trauma, a lot of neglect and abuse and malnutrition. So I had my hands full to literally train the trauma right out of her. And that's when I realized that she was a magical creature, because I had a couple of dreams before finding her, which I had asked for. I'd asked for dreams when there's a dog ready for me. Dreams came. I went and found her. We were reunited. But truly my task was not so much seeing, that she was this incredible magical creature, but literally saving her life initially.
Well, I know that that's happened a lot, especially through COVID. People had to let go of their pets. Other people really needed those pets. It saved their lives. And I think there's been interestingly enough, a lot more focus on the value of our pets and our animals and to stop the puppy mills and so forth and so on. It's really unnecessary, and to develop more systems, we both like the term systems, that will help us connect with wonderful pets if we need a pet, rather than expecting people to breed animals just we might want them, we might not, and if we don't or we can't at the time, then they're treated so badly. So thank you for everything that you did. And I know that you've had your own trauma in life, so I'm sure that you probably felt like part of that served you as well as the puppy, right?
Of course it did. Of course it did. It helped me focus my mind when I was training her. I had someone help me also to train Xena to be a service dog for me,
Oh,
actually,
wonderful.
initially for sugar diabetes, as it was referred to back then. And also all the way through, she was helping me with my autism, with this
Right.
business of embodiment and connectivity. I know she was an enormous help to me in that way.
So just the subject of autism, most people are afraid to even say the word or to say I am autistic, but I'm not sure what the stigma is, but I will say if it produces someone at your genius level, it can't be all bad. So if you want to share anything that you think the rest of us, that would help the rest of us understand this so that we can be better friends, better companions, whatever, along the trail, useful.
Thank you. Thank you. It always is being able to just say the truth.
Yes.
Because then I understand why people give me kind of a funny look, because they have a context for it, instead of just giving me a funny look like she's just really weird. I'm a little uncomfortable, so I
Well,
should.
the way I say it is, you're wonderfully weird.
Instead of that, I have a context for my weirdness. Yeah.
But then I think everybody who is really genius level, including Einstein or whoever, I'm sure that people thought that of them also. And who knows? Who knows? They didn't identify things very well way back then anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And now at least we have a few more tools, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the population has the understanding to appreciate people with special gifts, etc. But clearly this dog had a special gift, and other people noticed it. Even
They
you were
did.
walking down the street, you told me a story. They
All
come
the
out.
time. All the time. Yes. Yes, it was extraordinary, really. And even just sort of the different circumstances of her life. Like, for instance, I'll give you the story of magic, what we're after here, Pat. Her magic. We went to New York City for the first time. She wasn't completely nonplussed by the amount of noise and the amount of people and the legs everywhere. No problem. She was as calm as she could possibly be. And as soon as first time I put her on the sidewalk so we could walk together, it wasn't too crowded, just slightly crowded. The first thing she did is she pulled me, which she never did. She never pulled on the leash. She pulled me over to a homeless person who was
Oh,
sitting on the ground.
uh-huh.
And she just needed to sit. She went and she sat next to them. She didn't stand and look at them with her, looking straight or what. No. She sat right next to them, like, you can touch me.
Oh.
You can pet me if you want. It's more than likely what they were saying, because then a conversation would ensue between the two, person and Xena, which I really actually couldn't hear because of the ambient noise,
Right.
and because it wasn't for me to hear. It was for them.
Wow.
She did this nonstop. It was almost I'd see someone up ahead. It was almost, and I'd pick her up because we needed to get to our appointment.
Otherwise, she would have. She had a mission in New York City, right?
She did. She did. And when she finally asked me to tell her story for her, she showed me the picture of New York, her being there, and she explained what it was that she saw and what it was that she understood that these people were saying to her, and how much she really loved that.
Wow.
Different from, of course, the regular busyness of New York and everyone over with their business and being ever so important, but cities are.
So
They're busy.
how did you manage to turn this into a book?
Oh,
Like that would be difficult.
there's two things. One was selfish. I had thought for many years that I ought to write her stories down, but then it would, of course, be from my perspective, Jennet's story of Xena kind of thing. And I thought, that's a little puffy. So I just waited until she had the last year of her life. She had kidney failure, and she was given about a month to live. Well, that wasn't going to work for her at all. We got her to a year and a half. During that period of time, she would lay on my bed across from a big chair that I sat in to read and work on my computer. And finally, one day, I looked up, and she just looked right through me, and she literally said the words to me, "Cast my story up."
Oh, wow.
Now, so using those words, my initial vision was of a sparkled wet with water, like a diamond net that she wanted me to cast out into the water to catch the little fish or whatever.
Well,
so
I
it was
feel that you
combined with the
probably will do
visual.
that.
Sorry?
I feel like you probably will do that for people.
Well, I think that's what she's done. I think she's told me her stories. And from that point on, I knew, okay, so I have an assignment. She wants me to actually do this. So I worked with her and worked with her and worked with her, and we had all of her stories out, including from the beginning and the dreams and how that happened for her too. Things that I never knew about her.
Wow.
Told me.
Wow. That's really
And so I thought, well, either I'm already insane with grief because I know I'm going to lose my Xena. I'm insane with grief, literally. That must be what's happening. And or what? I mean, what was I going to tell myself? It didn't matter. The words were there, the
Mm.
energy, her vision was there. We had Xena and I had telepathic, empathic communication that I trained her to understand exactly what I needed from her, just a few words, but I'd show her the picture from my third eye.
Ah,
So she had a combined sensory experience of
I
what she
think,
needed to do
you know,
for me.
I've heard that like animals are really pretty clear channels. They don't have all the stuff we put in front
Absolutely.
in our brains, like, oh
Totally
well, it
agree.
probably meant this, or oh no, that can't be true.
No, I agree.
They're just like clear.
I
So
agree.
I've heard it's easier in a sense if you can be open enough. I mean, I think the miracle is that you're open and that you could receive the messages.
Well, that's part of my autism.
Thank you.
You and I had a conversation once, Pat, where we talked about what it's like to have my mind, and I described it to you as it's just the motherboard. It's just the motherboard, and it's not in a case. It's not in it's just I'm the motherboard. I have no protection from the elements. I'm
Uh-huh.
exceedingly vulnerable and open, all of which is perfect.
Yes,
Because then I
yes.
can see into the cosmos and see what I need to do to be the visionary that I am,
Well, there
to
you go.
care, and
You
have a
just,
mission and care about humanity and want to create
yeah.
things that lift people up
Yes,
and have
yes.
them see who they really are and their magnificence
Well, I
of
bet
their humanity.
n- not a lot of people get to see what I saw. I got to see lots and lots of your paintings. I got to see the ideas and talk with you about where those paintings came from, how you saw those things. And now I got some more information as we were talking before we started recording about the supernova that you were talking about, how it actually began, and 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 things that are going to happen as a result of that. So you actually captured a lot of that in your paintings, and I think your paintings are amazing and are going to be known worldwide. And maybe this little puppy can help to go on her little spiritual four legs and precede the other work you're doing. I
I
think,
love that. That's so perfect. I think that's exactly what she had in mind when all of a sudden the idea to publish this manuscript, which has been sitting and waiting for the right publisher for a number of years, like more than 5.
wow.
It's been finished, completely finished, ready to go. So
Well, we're so
they've been
excited about it.
waiting for the message. Where's the magic? Because this whoever works with Xena has to be along this notion that you've prompted in me to speak of,
I,
to
I
teach
bet a
magic.
lot of people are going to be eager to get their hands on this book. I know that they can get it through Amazon and probably a
Yes,
couple of other places
Amazon
on the
right
web.
now.
So,
Mhm.
and we'll provide more information too as time goes along. One of the things I want to mention before we leave is, since I mentioned about the artwork and so forth, you also have wanted to bring out some coloring books,
Yes.
and you're going to use part of the things you've already done or thought about, etc., in those coloring books. So that's like your next project coming along. Is that correct?
Yes, Pat. Yes, it is. The title of the series, there'll be 7 coloring books. So they're based on the source material are my ink drawings, the original
Oh, yes,
inks.
right, right. And
And
those are
then so
beautiful.
then with those drawings, I've taken little bits of the drawing out so that Pat can put her part in, color all of
Very
her
good.
sections in. So
Oh,
the originals have been altered so that the material going out in the coloring books is all about, of course, our new customer, our new fan,
I already have
our
some
new
people
friend.
picked out.
It's what it's about. With the mission of that series is called Master in a Minute.
Oh,
Coloring
right.
master in a minute means wonder. It means wonder in a minute. It means overcome fear, celebrate wonder.
That's wonderful.
And so it's just so that's what the master in a minute is. It's like we can do this in a minute. We can overcome fear and
Mhm.
celebrate wonder. We can see it and we can engage in it on the page. And I can't wait to see what people come up with their drawings and colorings
Yes.
and all this. We want to put that on our website too. People can upload their materials. I want to have
Oh,
auctions
nice.
for the materials so that we can raise money for charity.
Oh, wonderful.
I think there's gonna be a big proportion of sales from Master in a Minute coloring books. Those proceeds are going to go to the Nature Conservancy,
Oh, nice.
which is at this point a worldwide organization, and it is a
Right.
top flight research. And of course, what it says, protecting nature, which is
That's wonderful.
what the drawings are all about. They're all about
Yeah.
sunflowers, orchids, etc., etc.
Well, I just want to say I have come to be a very big believer in putting my energy behind things that are positive, what we can do to protect our land, what we can do to make it more beautiful, what we can do to enjoy it while we're here. So I really think that's a great idea. And I can't wait for the coloring books to come out because either that's probably going to happen sooner. And I'd love
Yes,
for you to come back and actually show us, some of the things that people can use it for, and the
wonderful,
people who will gravitate to that. That'll be fun.
wonderful. I'd love to do that.
Well, it's been such a thrill and a real delight and an honor to have you. And I love sharing you with our audience. And I can't wait for everyone to get their hands on your book, including me.
Thank you so much, Pat. You're such a
Thank you.
gem. Really.
Thank you. Thank you for
Wow.
being my guest. Come
Wow.
back soon.
Yes, ma'am. Will do.
Okie doke.
Bye-bye. Bye,
Bye
everybody.
bye.